Hello, everybody. Happy St. Patty's Day this Sunday, March 17th. So, I hope you're wearing the green and celebrating. And I just wanted to say, while I was waiting for the go live symbol to come up, I noticed that Marsha Florum remembered about Laura and the baby, and her grandbaby, and I wanted to thank her for that. It is so nice to have somebody to remember everyone. So I am back from my retreat. It was a lot of fun, but actually it was so short. But we knew it was going to be short. We knew that because they had some things come up. And the Salvation Army has more important things to worry about than a bunch of quilting ladies. So it's like they need to change the date. No problem. When? What can we do? So because what they do is a lot bigger than us just sitting and having fun. So, anyway, the good news is because we go there and we rent the rooms and we pay for meals, the good news is they can do more to help those in the community. So, we are fundraising, but we are very grateful for being allowed to be there with them. So, I am back. I got back Thursday night at a little after 9. Yeah, about 9:15, and just got some of my stuff brought upstairs just today. So yesterday I was I would have well, actually, wait a minute. I've gotten my days confused because I was thinking yesterday was Friday. Friday I was up and out of here by 7:30 so that I could take Blossom up to have her teeth cleaned. And then I went back and picked her up. But in between, I definitely slept. I didn't sleep good when I was away. I never do when I'm away from Mark. And, he says the same thing. It's just something about, everything being good and safe and tucked in and all of that. I'm gathering, if you notice, I'm doing something. I'm just kind of playing around with how would we make flowers out of fabric. But I have to be honest, I'm exhausted today and I haven't really gotten a lot done and to try to make these flowers for you. So we're just going to start the topic just a little bit. I did this one and I used hot glue and burnt my fingers, but I did make one. So I pulled out the fabric, I pulled out some lace, but I just haven't had enough time, awake time, to study up on it and see what kind of techniques we could find. So, anyway, but I'll end up showing you what I did bring together. And let I want to I have got my hot glue gun on and I want to quickly take this sweet little thing that I did gather and I want to put some hot glue on it. So let me do that, and then that way I can unplug the hot glue gun and not be afraid of burning down the house or burning my fingers off. So let me get one more dot and then I can unplug this puppy. So, okay. All right, good. So now that's unplugged. Let me set it out of the way. Hopefully, I won't knock it over. But, I'm just trying out some different things with little flowers. And the one thing I have found, if you're going to make fabric flowers, I highly recommend batik fabrics because if you use printed fabrics, then you really should have 2 layers because the back of printed fabric is not that pretty. But with batik, it's pretty whatever size. Oh, let me do this really quick while the glue gun is still hot. Let me do this. I'm going to pull out a button and put a little hot glue right there. I thought I was going to sew these by hand or machine, but you know what? When you're in a big hurry, I think this is just fine. And then, if you wanted to, you could hot glue it. In fact, let me go ahead and do that while I've got the hot glue gun still warm. And you could put this, and then you could always paint the stem, and then you can make a couple little leaves. But these would be really cute in a sewing container here in my sewing room. But here's this great big one I made. But okay, so you know what I think? And if we have time at the end and we feel like looking at these, then we will. But if not, we'll do some more next week once I've had enough sleep. But I was telling Mark, I said the hard thing about coming home. Monday morning, I went, pardon me. I want you to be able to see my shamrock up here. Whoop, oh, right there. But I went over there Monday. By the time I got there and got settled, it was 1 o'clock. So then I did teach a class, and I'll show you the picture of their Bargello. They both did such a good job, Michelle and Nancy. And what I did is I took over some basic information. And so I said, if anybody wants to just hear some basics about Bargello quilt making, let me know, because sometimes all you need is like an explanation. How do you do a Bargello? What makes that happen? And what makes it easier to do? So that really helped. So this is cute. Now I wish I had taken it more seriously and made more, because that is really cute. Oh well, I'll work on it later. Okay, let me clean this stuff because Deb, I brought plenty of fabric over to make flowers out of. I even found some with little ladybird beetles and a little bee. And whoops, did I do it the right way? Hopefully, nope, upside down. Little bees. So I thought, oh, they'd be cute to make, but I'm too tired. That's the thing. The older I get, I just don't bounce back. But so anyway, I taught the class for 2 days off and on, but they were so good. Especially Michelle has kind of done this before and she's sharp, so she was ready. And even Nancy, they just really did well. When we did the Bargello class last July, um, I was making mistakes. Every day of the class, I made mistakes. It's one of these processes that it's hard for your brain to really kind of get all of the little ins and outs that you need to make it successful. It's not a hard quilt to make, it's a tedious quilt to make. So, also, while I'm thinking about it, I want to tell you that this July, I want to do another free class, and we will do it on Jitsi, just like we did last time. So it'll probably be the second week of July, something like that. We'll get together and talk about it as the date comes closer. And so be thinking, what would you learn to make? I will take your suggestions. It's got to be something I can find the free pattern or design a pattern for all of you. And we will do that because it was so much fun last year. And we'll plan it for the whole week and do it probably from 10 to 2 or 3 each day. Come and go as you can. And we will record it like we did last year. And I will give you the private. It's going to be on YouTube, but not public. It'll be private. And so all you have to do is ask for the address and I will give it to you. That way, if you can't be there during our time of our classes, you can catch it whenever you can. So, all right, I've got so the retreat was very nice. But Monday, unloading the car, bringing everything in, setting it up, then going over, unloading everything for the room, setting up, and it's a walking camp. So you're supposed to park in this general parking lot and walk everywhere. So it's like you want to get everything unloaded as close to where it's supposed to be as you can. So, but then so Tuesday and Wednesday, and then boom, Thursday, I have to pack everything up. Now, you know that I'm not an early riser. So what I did is I checked out of my room about 11, and you have to strip your bed and you take the pillowcase and you stuff all the dirty linens and the towels and washcloths in it, sit it outside the door, and I like to bag up my trash too, so nobody has to worry about that. And so I did that, and then I went and sewed most of the day. And then at 7 o'clock, I thought, time to pack up. And then I had to load. So I'd already loaded all my room stuff in the car. Then I had to load all the sewing stuff in the car. I came home, my back was killing me. I was like, Mark, I'm not going to be able to help. So he brought everything, just got it into this room. And oh, then the next day had to rush back off and do Blossom. But she did really, really well. She had to lose two little teeth that were pretty loose. And they were telling me that once that tooth goes bad, it's better to remove it so it doesn't spread. The infection doesn't spread to the other teeth. So I understood, but it was awfully early to take her to have that done. So, what the fun activities we did at the retreat, we did a show and tell. I have photos for you. And we did um, a quilt bingo game, and that was fun. And I've got to tell you, out of the 6 games we played, I won 2 of them. And I don't like winning. It's great if you want to win 1, but I didn't want to win 2. And so it came time to do the entire cover up the entire card. I got ready to win that. You know what I did? I lifted up my card and dumped all the pieces off. Went, oh my goodness. Oh, what a shame. I was not going to win a third. No way. That is not fair because what you do is every person brings 6 fat quarters. You throw a fat quarter into the pot when you start your bingo. So I got some pretty nice fabrics. And so this is really nice. So by winning 2, I got my 6 back plus 6 more. So it's a nice little way. If you can win, it's a nice little way to add to your small stash. And then I went up to the prize table at one point and I got this little mat. And let me tell you why I picked it up, because I don't want to get just a bunch of junk. Um, but I look and thought, you know how a lot of times, uh, you know how a lot of times Oh, uh, a 9-degree spiral bar jello. Well, I looked over when I was thinking, what are we going to do for class? I looked over and saw this and thought, ooh, but I might have people starting to scream at us. But anyway, I picked this up because I've noticed when I'm upstairs, I'll use my little tiny iron, the iron with the little head, and I'll use that to work with my applique. I thought this would be great. I can put it on my little tray table. I can iron on that side, cut on this side. So that I picked that up for a prize. Then we had the yard sale table, and there were some really pretty things, but I just wasn't in the mood to spend a lot of money. But somebody brought in, I mean, this thing looks brand new. And so um it is one of what I forgot now what they're called, but it's a sidewinder. It's a bobbin winder, and you can plug it in or use batteries. And I use this to wind the L bobbins for my long arm. And it even still has the felt here. So it looks totally brand new. She had a $5 price tag on it. I grabbed it. So anyway, that I got that for $5. Then she had one of these bobbin rings for $1. I've always wanted one of these, but I wasn't going to spend $6 for them. So now I have one. That's really nice. And the sidewinder. Then when I got there, this was by my table. And the woman who does such a wonderful job, Nancy, who does the best job with this retreat, had put this on the table. She had bought it some years ago from a thrift store. And she said, and it's too small for me to wear. But she said, I thought maybe you could do something with it. So that's going to be one of my projects coming up. How can I save the flamingos from this jacket, and what will I make with it? So I think that is cute. And I was thrilled that she thought of me. She said, I knew I wasn't going to wear it. I didn't know what to do with it. I thought about you. So then in the giveaway table, here is some beautiful silver rickrack and some um, little bits of lace. And this one, it's like what you use for facing. But guess what? It has the word love on it. I thought, how cute to put that on a quilt label of a gift. So now, this is always fun when I can come home and show you. This was from the prize table. I need good yellows. Yellow is a color I don't buy, but when you need it, you need it. So that's nice. Then see this cute little bobbin. I have a lid that came off a container that I thought about making myself another wrist pincushion. This little miniature pincushion would go perfectly in the little bottle cap, and then I'll make a bracelet for it. So I picked that off the table. Then I picked some Sewing is My Therapy, some sewing themed emery boards, which always need those. And let me bring everything else over. Look at Carol. We have a member. I love this tote with a zipper here. It has a zipper in the top of it. Nice heavyweight canvas. And look, she always donates her time and a lot of the supplies, I think, to do the wonderful embroidery. She has a professional embroidery machine. Isn't that wonderful? I love this because it's light and spring-like. So nice tote. Nice tote. And she was talking about it. She said, should I still be doing totes? because we've had that group probably 11 or 12. This is our 11th or 12th time there, and that's a lot of totes. So, although the first couple years I made them, and we didn't collect any prize money, so it was just me spending whatever. And I found these inexpensive totes, and I tried printing iron on labels, and I melted a good number of those totes because they were some kind of man-made fiber that didn't like the iron. This was on the giveaway table. These are all dual duty. And since they are brand name, I definitely picked those up. And so the gray ones, I love. And the pink, I'll just have to find a pink project. So that came from the freebie table. This I bought, I think it was $4, and it's an elongated hexie, which if it's an elongated hexie, it's not really a hexie, right? So, but I love the pillow. Look at that pillow behind there. I'm thinking for my daughters and daughter-in-law next Christmas, that would be a nice gift. So, and it even comes with some fusible, double-sided fusible fleece, pre-cut hexagon. Hmm. I'll see, but it's a Missouri Star quilt. I got that for $4. I, from the freebie table, picked up a pattern for dinosaurs that I can make for my grandson. Look at the one in the egg. How cute is that? So, then from the freebie table, got some magazines. I love these because some of these are very expensive. I can't afford that. So I have really cut down on the number of magazines because I just don't have time to read them. This came from the prize table because, it's very important for me to have all my projects in a container so that if I have a few minutes to work, I grab the container. It has everything I need there, and off I go. So I was very happy to get that. And I like the bright green because then I can't lose it so easily. This is going to go up here. All right. And these little bits of lace, I love when I can get stuff like that from the freebie table because, oh, and I got this. Did I show you this fabric? And someone had even sewn it. It's not high quality fabric, but I loved the colors. And somebody had sewn it together. And, but it's great for backing and, or to add to a quilt. And, I love these colors. So that was a good thing. But I love it. I love that people put things, they say, if somebody can find a use for this, and I know I always can. All right, so that's all my prizes and a couple little things that I bought. Then Jam Fabrics, Judy Merrill, who's now doing quilting. She has a computerized long arm now, so she's also going to be doing quilts for people. So that's wonderful. But she brought her fabrics just for 2 days, for Tuesday and Wednesday. She brought her fabrics. So what I did is I know that this coming Thursday, we're going to get back to our Art Quilt Thursdays. And we're going to start with a watercolor quilt. And when we look at show and tell, I will, when we look at show and tell, I will make sure to show you the idea that I'm having for our quilt. And I will be happy to give you a free pattern for it so that you can just enjoy yourself. Also, I was trying to figure out what size to make the watercolor quilt. Help with Bargello. Hmm. It was pretty cool stuff, huh? And But I thought with all the blocks, it's probably going to be 20 blocks by 24 blocks. I thought if they're 2.5, it just ends up getting bigger and bigger. So remember I had some nice 2-inch squares? I'm thinking I'm going to go back to the 2-inch squares. So I plan on having drawing up the pattern in the next couple of days. That way I can get it out to you, anybody who wants that pattern. And it's going to be super easy, super easy. So what I did is I went over, I'm going to bring you over here to show you. I went to Jam Fabrics where she had everything lined up. And normally I don't buy a lot of florals. I don't know why, but I just don't. So I have some florals that I won playing bingo, but normally I don't buy a lot. But look at these sunflowers. I went ahead and got a yard of this because I think there's going to be some sunflowers in my future. But the rest of them, I asked her, would she be willing to cut um, quarter yards? And she said yes. Bless her. You know what? When you find a good fabric person, you take good care of them because they're worth their weight in gold. Now, this is really anemones and stuff from under the sea, but you know what? It looks like beautiful flowers depending on where you cut it. So I got this one. Then I'm going to have growing up on the arbor, I'm going to have some grapes and grape leaves. And then look at this. This is so pretty. I love this. And this to me would kind of look like a vine going up the arbor. Well, gotta have some daisies, but she was kind enough to sell me quarter yards. Look at these butterflies because I'm going to want butterflies in this watercolor garden. Some hydrangeas. I'll make sure to have some hydrangeas. Then I'm going to have different greens, but look at this. Is that just beautiful? I think that will be perfect. This is what I'm going to use as a blender type fabric. So this is going to help blend the space between lights and darks. And I think that is just beautiful. Then we're going to have white. Well, I want white fencing and a white arbor. I think this will be really pretty. Still making it look like maybe there's some kind of flower growing on it because I'll be using some pure white too. And then this is a miniature hydrangea, or I guess you could say it's phlox or pinks or whatever. So I got myself some of these, and that way I know I've got enough to start out with the watercolor quilt. So I'm going to this week, of course, be looking for all of the floral prints I can find and try to find what I have here. And in fact, there was, let me see, I might have put it under here, but I found some. I found this floral that I thought, oh, I want to use for a flower today. And look at these cute butterflies. So I'm going to leave these out. With this bright background it's on, these would have to be cut off and machine appliqué. But, well, I put it somewhere to keep it safe, and now I don't know where it is. But oh, here it is. But I was thinking of using this to make a flower. And then I found this and went, oh no, this is going to be for the watercolor quilt. So I will definitely put that. And you know what? I can use my container. and put all of my watercolor fabric in that. So I know it's set. All righty. So now I talk about, let me get my agenda. And again, happy St. Patty's Day. And I am not a big beer drinker. And I'm not sure adding green to it's going to make it that much better for me. But now maybe a good margarita, I could do one of those. But anyway, I thought I would show you. I now have 5 completed English paper piecing blocks. And I have to tell you, I love it. I am still loving this. And let me see. So while I was at my retreat, I listened to an entire audiobook and half of another one. And that was wonderful. Oh, I got to tell you this. Okay. So, stuff. Oh, I haven't even said hi to everyone who's here. It shows that I'm a little tired. Well, let me run back up here. Lisa, I noticed, was the first person here. Sonia, Marcia, Debbie. Oh, Laura R. And so glad that baby's doing well. Holly. Mitty. Hi, Mitty. It's so good to see you. Oh, they're going to try the baby off the feeding tube. How wonderful. I know, you're right, Laura. 7:30 in the morning is pretty much, yeah. Because the week before I went, there were 3 nights I didn't get to sleep till 4:30 or get to bed till 4:30. Oh, it's cute. Miss Mary. Oh, it's so good. Barbara Smith. Hi, Barbara. Joni, yay. So be thinking about what class you want me to teach you in July. And it would be fun. And if you want to invite some friends, and we'll just do, in the heat of the summer when you don't want to go outside, we'll have a free quilt class. And I'll make it with you. Don't worry. Okay, let's set. Yes, you're right, Lisa. Pat is here. And I've got to tell you, I forgot Don's age. I was really tickled y'all gave him a birthday. And you know what? He's a pretty amazing fellow. And all the stuff and moving and all of that. And oh boy, he's special. So I love that y'all had the time at the beach. Ah, Brenda Edmonds, hello. And let me see. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. I don't want to miss anyone. I'm trying to be careful. But, oh, it is great. Okay. All right. So, and I'll tell you a little secret. Mark and I are going to be meeting my daughter's boyfriend Wednesday. And he sounds like a wonderful fella. So they're enjoying themselves and all of that. Now, the other day at the retreat, I tried to spend some time outside enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air. It's always so lovely. I live on a wooded lot here, so it's a little harder to get out and just enjoy the weather. So when I went out to enjoy the weather, I was just finishing up this block over here. That one. I was just finishing that up. I noticed the next Starry Sampler English paper piecing from Yellow Rose Quilt Company. Guess how many pieces are in that one block? 68 pieces. Are you kidding me? So I sat out on the picnic table outside in the beautiful weather, and I made all 60 because I'd already had the cardstock forms cut. I just needed to wrap them in fabric and get them ready. In the time since I've been home, since I've been so tired, I've gotten this much done of this block. 68 pieces for believe it or not, 68 pieces. So I'm going to put all the rest of these pieces on here and show you. All of those are going to be in this block. So, but I am loving English paper piecing, and I just broke one of my little, what are they called? I forgot, but I just broke that. Well, now it's not going to work. It's a good thing I've got 99 of them left. Okay. So that I am enjoying. I can take it anywhere. It's wonderful. All right, let me put this out of the way. So now here we go. I'm going to do the watercolor spring redwork. I haven't touched it for now 2 week and a half. I have not touched it, so I apologize, but I'll be back next Sunday with another one. I'm loving the English paper piecing and then the flowers. So, okay. I know what I was going to show you. I took my Alaska quilt to show, and I think they liked it. Whoops. Oh, these blocks are getting wibbly wobbly. And I just wanted to show. Ooh, okay. So I added several more rows on this because that's my UFO I'm trying to get done. And besides that, I've gotten all of the blocks. This quilt, it's a king size quilt. It has only 2 blocks, the lighter block and the darker. I've got all the blocks made. Now it's just, I have 3 more rows to put on there. So it's taking all the blocks and getting them in the rows correctly. And then I'll do the inner border, 2 inner borders, and an outer border. Then I will put it on the quilt frame and quilt it, and then I'll bind it. So this is the culmination of about 5 years, but it is nice. It's so nice to get these things done. So I'm late to the game of trying to manage my UFOs, but I'm here, and I guess that's what really matters. I don't think I have it handy, but I found a wonderful, wonderful striped fabric or plaid fabric I showed you last week that I bought off Etsy to go with the English paper piecing because I needed something to do the sashing and inner border with. I just wanted to show you one more time. I got it from Quilts by Kitty. She has an Etsy shop, Quilts by Kitty US. And last week, when I talked about her shop and her amazing service, she wrote back and was real pleased. So, but I always tell you when something good happens to me or someone gives me good service, I can't wait to give them the credit. Because you know what? That matters an awful lot. All right, now I'm going to turn this around and we're going to do show and tell. Okay. Turn the camera. All right. Okay. Let's check some of these pictures out. Oh, yesterday I did go out and work in the yard a little bit. I trimmed my roses, trying to get ready for spring because you know what? It's coming. Even, I might not be ready for spring, but it's going to come either way. Let me just real quickly. I always do this. My computer gets a little messy. That was kind of cool. I love That is really cool. Now, how do you make a quilt that kind of shows that infinity type technique? All right, now here we go. Okay. And this, let me show you. What I've done is this is the quilt that Marcia found. But what I've done to it is I've taken off the border and I flipped it. This is just to give me an idea of how to start. And what I'm going to do, I want to make it my own. I don't know who did this design and I don't know who to ask for permission, but I just wanted to show you that I've already started thinking about it. And you notice it's all blocks. And so that's where I was thinking if I do size 2.5-inch blocks, that's going to be an awfully big quilt. But now you can see it can give you an idea of what kind of fabrics you need to gather. I would like to have some kind of little pond in it, but I have to work that out. So I will have it all worked out for you. If I can somehow move the fence back a little bit, maybe try to have a little waterfall here. We'll see what I can do. But this is lovely and I can't wait. I'm very excited about making this watercolor quilt. So thank you, Marsha Han, for sending this to me. I can't wait for us to get started. Okay. Now, oh, is this cute or what? I don't remember where I got this from, but I said, oh my gosh, I love that. I just love it. Who knows what I'll do, but okay. So now I'm going to go back to the beginning and show you Alberta's quilt. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Perfect for today since it's all in greens. And I love that these all have a relationship, and then there's this one sticking out there. That is so cool. That to me is a sense of whimsy. I don't mean to overuse that word, but that's cute. All right. Now, let me see. Betty Meissner. I love her heart quilt. Isn't that great? It almost looks three-dimensional. I really do like that. And then her fish. So we're going to put this in the queue to do for an art quilt Thursday because, oh my gosh, that's so cute. So while you're thinking, I'm going to write it down right now. I'm going to list it as fancy fish. All right. And so start gathering your lames, your interesting directional fabrics, things to make this very exciting. I'm so glad that she gave us this idea. That's fabulous. So that was Betty Meissner. I'm just going to check. I don't think I have anything new, not anything from Betty Middleton yet. But then Miss BB, all right. And this will be the last week that I'm showing you her wonderful breads. Love that. I love that one. And it's a flatbread, but I'm not sure what you call it. I love her purses, all of the hand embroidery. She does exquisite handwork, just beautiful. Look at that. Oh, look at this bread. Is that yummy or what? A tray of homemade toast and then the wonderful whirling dervishes. That fabric is beautiful. Beautiful. Love it. So thank you, Miss BB. Now let's see where we're going to go next. Miss Bonnie. Oh my goodness. Miss Bonnie has been so busy and several people, but let's see. She has been working on, okay, here was her black work. And then, ready to see her black work now? She's been a busy lady. Look at this black work now. She had, and understand that tiny work takes a long time. So she's doing a beautiful job. And we have a perfect black work for St. Patty's Day that I'll show you in a few minutes. But Miss Bonnie has taken out, I remember this bamboo. She's taken this out to finish. Let's see what else she's been finishing. Oh, her cute little decorated pen cushion. Cute, 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 with earrings and a fluffy feather boa. Then I remember this. Oh, it's precious. And this is her St. Patty's elephant baby. So cute. Looks like she's gotten that done or gotten that out to have fun with. I'm not sure what this is. So I'm just going to have to say, okay, that's interesting. But she finished this. This is another one of her UFOs. I remember this turtle. I love this turtle. And it looks like she's finished that one now. So way to go, Miss Bonnie. Oh, here are her dragons. And she actually did this. She did a test dragon to see how it would turn out. Isn't that cute? I love it. Very good. All right. So Miss Bonnie's been a busy lady. That is wonderful. All right. We have Charlene, and she has sent us some beautiful things she's been working on. I love this broderie purse where she cuts out the flowers and leaves from fabric and then appliques them down. And it's called broderie purse, which has nothing to do with a pocketbook. It's all to do with Persian embroidery. And it was a wonderful way for people to be able to buy it a small amount of very expensive chintz fabric and put it on a bigger background of inexpensive fabric and make something beautiful for themselves. So this is a wonderful um this it's a wonderful technique that's come down through the couple hundred 300 years. But look at these beautiful quilt blocks that she's putting together. Wonderful. And these, in fact, I do remember now, this is Laundry Basket Quilts. It's Edita Sitar, and it's her birthday block of the week. So wonderful job, Miss Charlene. And look at this table runner. That is a wonderful log cabin. Isn't that dramatic? I love that. There's the little block. And I love those colors. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right. So thank you, Miss Charlene, for sending those because they're so nice. Let me see. I'm trying to decide if I should go ahead and show mine yet. Let's see. All right. So now I'm going to see. I was looking to see if I could do create slideshow. I'm going to try to do a slideshow for these pictures. Okay. Come on. Yay. I think we're about ready. Let me see. Mm, well, what was I? Here we go. Photo stage. Okay. Oops. This is not what I thought. Well, okay, this is not what I thought. So, discard. All right. Nope. Oh, I got them confused. Let me go back. Come on. All right, let me bring it back up, and I'm just going to have to do my own slideshow. All right, so here I am sitting outside on the deck at the retreat. This is probably my favorite thing of all. Sometimes when I go, like especially in November, I'll put put my coat over me and take a short little nap. Here is our big room. Now, oh, this is what I forgot to tell you. They're making new dormers over these skylights because sometimes the light that comes in is so intense. So they were working on the roof while we were there, and they would drop a big piece of plywood or whatever, and we would all jump. But we were having so much fun. We just pretty much tried to ignore that. Here is the big bank of windows that looks out over the deck that I sit on when I go outside to rest. But all those wonderful windows, the lighting is so wonderful. Here is what it looks like from the outside, sitting on the deck, looking back at the building. I love that. And the here starts the show and tell. This is Miss Becky and some of her quilts. Beautiful star. This is called something support me or something like this. I think that is so funny. Look at this quilt. That is just way too funny. And then here is someone else's work. Now, I don't know all of the people's work, to be honest with you. A little scatterbrained that day. Look at this wonderful table runner, and I love the way that she did these corners. And this is Kathleen, and that's Susan, and thank you that we appreciated them holding the quilts so the quilter could explain them. And this is a member explaining her quilt. Look at that. Isn't that neat? I love that. Okay. And here is someone's Christmas quilt. And here is Miss Susan right here did this, and it's fabric weaving. So that's something I'm going to try to learn. And here it is from the front on. She worked on that. Then this is Miss Carol's. I love her little rabbit and little dachshund. This little thing. And then she started, Miss Carol, she's very prolific. She started this while we were at the retreat. And here's Miss Carol. She does the embroidered tote bags. And look at this. She only brings the things that she's actually made since the last retreat, which was just 4 months ago. And wait till you see. I mean, look at the number of pieces in this. Huge. And this is a commission quilt she's working on. And luckily, a woman's paying her very well for that. That's only half of it. And it is exquisite. But she said that thing has been taking up all of her time. But isn't that magnificent? Mm. Then here is another member with her quilt and her friend who's doing the same pattern. And here was a woman named Dawn who brought her Bargello to show us. And I want you to notice she did the inner border and then put together a second inner border to match what was going on in the body of the quilt. We were so impressed. And here is, oops, come on, Deb. You know her name. Oh, I'm so sorry. My brain's not working today, but look at that beautiful quilt. She was a math teacher, and I'm always amazed at the accuracy of her quilts and the complexity. I mean, it looks like that's if you were a math teacher, that's what you would quilt. Aren't they beautiful? And her quilting is ah unbelievably good. Her piecing skills are excellent. And look at this one. I just love those colors. Aren't those colors wonderful? And I'm really fond of a piano keyboarder. I just think that's beautiful. And then this is Miss Suzanne. And oh my gosh, she said she saw a pixelated picture of the Grinch. And she said, I'm going to make one. She said she thought it would be a wall hanging, but just that's what made me think when we do our watercolor quilt, we've got to be very careful how big those individual blocks are because it adds up over time. But I think that Grinch is marvelous. Way to go, Suzanne. And here's another one of her quilts. This is a fall log cabin. And then this was a new member. I think her name is Jackie. She did the Dresden plate on pieced backgrounds, which I thought was very interesting. Then you can't tell what this is, but she's going to do a large pixelated portrait of Dolly Parton. So she said it's going to take her quite a bit because look at all the different little colors that she's putting, squares and rectangles she's putting in that. So that'll be interesting for you to check back on. And I love this. This just has that wonderful 30s fabric glow about it. It's going to make a wonderful nap time bedspread. And this I thought was very dramatic, having the black background. And yep, this is Martha's. She was a new member of the retreat group. And look at this. This is so beautiful. This is definitely an heirloom quilt. Isn't that gorgeous? Here it is, a little bit bigger. It is just so, so pretty. And then here is it's log cabin style. And I just think it's so pretty. And this one. And then this is Michelle's Bargello that she was working from doing the class. I think it's going to be very dynamic. Very dynamic. Look at this. Mm. So here's Nancy with hers, and here's Michelle with hers. And whoops, sorry. And I think they're lovely. I can't wait to see them when they're finished. Then here is Debbie with her Jean's dog bed. She had to make something tougher because the dog chewed up the other one. Then she's got some pillowcases. They're so cute. And here I am sitting out at the picnic table working on the 68 pieces of English paper piecing. And this overlooks this pond here, this deck that I was sitting on. It is so, so peaceful there. I dearly love that place. Okay. So that I think I got them all now. That was enough for me. So now let's see who else. Debbie, look at this. I love her red work. Makes me want to hurry up and get back to mine. I love her stars. They just have a sparkle look to them. I love this quilt. And look at that. I've always wanted to do a toile quilt. That's beautiful. And her wonderful star quilt. Okay. Now, Denise. Denise sent these in. I'm so glad. Denise Weeks. She's just such a doll baby. I love this landscape. And I want to know how she did those flowers. And then she's got little beading up in here. I love the, pardon me, I love the swirls here to show the undulating landscape. Very, very nice. And I love that she put it on a nice stick there, gives it that rustic look. And then this is unbelievable. This is, let me make it a little bit bigger. It was too big. Okay. This is a wonderful painted on board koi picture that she did. I think that's beautiful. Way to go, Denise. Beautiful. All right. Now, let's see. Miss Jody and her wonderful quilt. I can't wait to see more of this. I think her colors are magnificent. Beautiful, beautiful. And there are her blocks. So she is working on curve piecing, doing scrappy quilting. Wow, I'm impressed. Very, very good, Miss Jody. Okay. And now we have Joni, who was kind enough to send me because I wanted to be able to show the ladies in my retreat class how their quilt may look. And oh my gosh, Joni did such a great job with this. Such a great job. And then here is what could be English paper piecing, but it's also where one shape fills up the entire space. And now I'm sitting here going, what was that called again? You can tell I'm tired. Look at this. Look at this kaleidoscope. It almost looks like Millefleur. It's so amazing. I love that quilt. Look at that up close. And I love the stripe binding. How exciting is that? So thank you, Miss Joni, for sharing those. You're so talented. We have got the most talented members that I could imagine. Then let's go down here. We've got, let's see. Here are Miss Mary's English paper piecing blocks. Very, very nice. And then she did a crocheted pieced blanket to donate to the hospital. So she's hoping there'll be a young man who would want that. So I cannot imagine making a quilt out of crochet blocks. And then she and her Mark went to a local park there in Arkansas. It's lovely. I love the little stone bridge. I love the fountain. So if you have a chance to get out in this, if your weather is warming up for you like it is for us, oh, I love it. And get out and get some good fresh air and some sunshine. Here we are with Marsha Hahn, and this is the coyote that she saw from her house. And I love, love, love what she's putting together. And it wasn't a pattern. She's just doing it, and it's lovely. I love her hollyhocks. But hopefully these will give you some ideas if you want to try making some flowers for spring or bird nesting birds. Be wonderful. Okay, Miss Melanie, got to find her last two photos. Here they are. Here is one with her now grown up, her now grown up Miss Willow. Look at Miss Willow. She's so elegant looking, but I have a feeling she's still quite a snuggle bug. Look at her. She was chilly down in the sewing room. So look, she's not pampered at all, is she? Isn't that cute? That is one happy pup. All right. Now, let's see where we're going this time. And Patricia Fry, I think, yeah, she sent me a picture of her Bargello that she's working on. I love that. Okay, now let's see what else. She sent me some cute bakery flamingos, which, oh boy, you just gotta love those. And let me see. Her Don, who's getting ready to celebrate his 84th birthday with his John Wayne quilt. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Now that was Miss Patricia Fry. And here we go. We have a black work done in colors that are very appropriate to today. So look at this. Isn't that amazing? So we have got two people doing this extraordinary black work. And how pretty is that? Y'all are far finer, finer hand embroiderers than I am. I couldn't do that if I tried. It's absolutely gorgeous. Way to go, Miss Polly. Okay. And I'll just show her table weaving. She's also learning to weave. Very industrious lady. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous. Okay. Now let's see. You see, we did Polly. SJ sent us these pictures of things she'd been working on. And this is a mat that she made to put her dog's food and water on. I love it. And SJ's from England. Then she took a regular TV tray, turned it into a sewing portable ironing board. Isn't that great? She covered it herself with a nice sewing, well, purse, canvas with pocketbooks and things like that on it. But I think it's wonderful. So way to go, Miss SJ. Thank you for sharing those with us. And now Miss Vicky. Okay. And Miss Vicky has shown us a few things like, I love this. Tessellation. That word just came to me when I was talking about Miss Joni's quilts that she sent us. A tessellation is any shape that fills up the entire space with just that shape. I love this house quilt. All right, everybody. I think that we are done for today, but I thank you all for sending in your show and tell. Whoops, whoops, whoops. And let me turn back on this light. And one thing I'm very proud of, I have used up these just in the last few months. That's progress. I like that I'm saving them now until I find a good cause because it is awfully nice to see that, yes, I have been getting stuff done. And that is wonderful. All right. Well, we're done a little bit early, and I'm going to go up in a few minutes and get some progress done on the dinner. I put some beef for beef stroganoff in the crock pot, and I want to go up and take care of it. But before we go, I would love to offer, do you have any questions? Is there anything about quilting or crafting that maybe I could answer for you? So, and I'm going to check and see if anybody has been writing. Oh, the right formula. Chronic pain is so hard. Oh my goodness. That is so hard. So, mm-mm-mm. Yeah, as long you really do always hope when you have chronic pain that you can manage to live a life that's still fruitful and and you can find happiness in. Well, I have a feeling you're going to do a beautiful job with your Bargello. Okay. Have I ever made a confetti quilt? That is a very good question. On the back of this wall is a little area of confetti. Right. Whoops. Whoops. These blocks have fallen. Hold on. Let me get my EPP blocks. Okay. Now, hopefully, we're talking about the same thing when we're talking about confetti. All right. All right. This quilt, my shamrock quilt, I made 25 to 28 years ago. So this was a very, this was a lot earlier on in my quilting career. We we were taught this. It was done as a little class in the guild that I belonged to back then. And for the shamrock, she had us cut up a bunch of green, different shades of green fabric and cut them and cut them and cut them until they were just fine little confetti. Then at the time, she used that fusible powder that now has become popular again. And she had us lay sprinkle a little bit of the fusible powder where the shamrock was, then sprinkle some of your confettis, different tiny pieces of different shades of green on top of that, and then a little bit more fusible and a little bit more confetti pieces. And then we took an ironing cloth and we pressed over it. And then after that, we just sewed all around, just making sure we had it well attached. And this has lasted now, like I say, probably 28 years. And so, and this I think was the first time that I quilted with my domestic machine. So this is just really sweet to see. And I bet you anything, this is a Jenny Buyer fabric. So I love Jenny Buyer all the way back then. But isn't that sweet? So if that's confetti, then that's the only confetti I think I've done maybe a little bit on a landscape quilt. And in fact, I ended up buying some of that fusible powder that you can carefully shake on. And because I thought, there are going to be times, especially if you want to do a fall quilt, to get all of those colors in, that would be a great way to do it. So, any other questions? You think you have some of the backing fabric? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is Jenny Buyer. And that was long time ago. In fact, honestly, when I look at this fabric, I prefer her later ones. So there was evolution even in her fabrics. Some of the really early ones I look at now and think, back then I was super excited because we hadn't seen anything like that on the market. But then come ahead 20 some years, it's amazing how far her fabric line came. So just mainly in processing and printing and dyeing, it amazing. Any other question? You were wondering, yeah, you probably could. And in fact, one of the things I've thought of doing is using fusible by the yard, laying it out, drawing a grid on it, and then putting the individual blocks where I want them. Then when I know they are where I want, take and use an ironing cloth and ironing the blocks down. Then what you would have to do is you'd have to pick it up and fold it and then stitch it. There are, look, check that out, because there are different products that you can actually build a quilt like that. And it is like a fusible interfacing that has a grid on it, and you just lay and press the blocks where you want them. So I haven't actually done it. It would be easy enough to sew it all one direction, but then how do you sew it the up and down direction? You probably have to snip some of the areas to do that. So I'll have to look into that beforehand. The Alaska pieces on the grain and off grain. Snip intersection. Joni just said you would have to snip the intersections, because you would be taking that thin, you would be taking and folding it with the pieces inside here, and then stitching a quarter of an inch down. Then, once you had that, how do you do them across? So she said snip the intersection to then flip it to do the other way. My Alaska pieces, you're probably asking, did I stay on the grain? I tried to. I definitely tried to, because otherwise you have too much of a problem with bias. And in fact, that tends to be one of the bugaboos about doing a Bargello, is the strips, once you've cut them, or they're 2.5 inches, the bias comes into play more, even if they're cut on the straight of grain. Lots and lots of seams. You're right, Jody. Joni. Sorry. Joni and Jody. This is Joni. So, anyway, how did you keep the Alaska pieces straight? I worked really hard. If Lisa's still here, she can tell you that since so many of them are eight piece star kind of effect, the first few blocks I made were ball caps, meaning they were curved. They had a hump to them, and I had to take them apart and do it again, and take it apart and do it again. And so that was really, really, really tricky. But I starched my fabric, I pinned it, I tried to definitely take my time and get it right. And honestly, it's one of my top 3 I've ever made. So I'm so glad that I listened to my heart and said, do something a little different. I'm really glad now. But I do enjoy it. I do. And that's got the border from it's got, it's made with half Jenny Beyer fabrics, if not more, and a Jenny Beyer border. So we're, listen, I A lot of the time, my words I struggle with, but especially today because I'm so sleepy. How did I quilt it? That was really neat. I named it Twilight Lagoon. Let me bring it over. Well, I can't bring it over. Oh darn, it's on a clothesline. Mark put it on the clothesline for me because I had so many. See that clothesline? What I did, but I can certainly tell you what I did since it was going to be named Twilight Lagoon. And let me see if I can get in pretty close to it. Maybe you can actually see some of there. I think you'll be able to see the quilting. Let me go whoops this way. What I did is I wanted it to look like ripples on the water. So I did an all over pattern. It's a meander, and it whoops, let me back out. It's a meander, and I did like this and then back up, but I did a meander that would look like ripples on the water. And I think it works. I really do. And it was tricky too because you have everything from almost white to black on there. What color thread do you use to quilt it? I was not going to be changing threads every few inches. I wish I could, but there are so many mistakes in that. I wish I could though, but I wouldn't let anybody that close see it. But well, like I cut the border off even forgetting about making them mitered. And so I had to use scraps left over from a different quilting projects to have enough and piece them together to try to have a mitered corner. So it looks really good from a distance. But if you got up close, you'd say, oh no, what was she thinking? So, but then around the inner black border, I just did a wave kind of design on that part. But I love doing the meandering. I think it just it gives it a sparkly, watery kind of look, I think. So anyway, all right. Anything else? The color right. Oh, thank you, Laura. And you know what? What is it's all from my stash. Every bit of that is from my stash. And so I think that's why I'm so proud of it. Yes, there is a rule about a galloping horse. It is a prize winner as long as the judge is on the back of a galloping horse. I love that. But you know what? It honestly does not bother me a bit that it's not perfect. I love it because I put my heart and soul in that. And Miss Lisa will tell you, I was having a mell of a hess problem with those first blocks. And, but, you know, I mean, look at them. Almost everything I think is at least an 8-point star. And it's really tricky putting those together. So I had to work real hard. Oh, that's wonderful, Marcia. That is wonderful. If you've written any notes to me or comments to the videos, I will get to them now that I'm home this week. But I try to stay off the computer when I'm at a retreat because I don't like mixing my metaphors. I don't like home and work or work and retreat to clash, you know? So that's where it's really, really special for me. All right, everybody. And it got done. That the biggest thing about that quilt is I took the class third week in January and I had it all finished and bound in just over a month. That to me was the shocking part. So, okay, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful St. Patty's Day. And wasn't that fast, Joni? because, I have a hard time finishing things, much less doing it that quickly. But I think what I did is I told myself, oh, that's wonderful, Marcia. I think I told myself if I didn't make myself finish it, I might never, because that's a lot. I am not, I don't have a love of piecing. I am an art quilter. So I knew I had to finish it. Uh, Oh, thank you, Miss Mary. I love all my new little things and, especially everything I can do from a yard sale table or something like that. That to me, those are treasures. Thank you so much. Marcia, yes, we definitely have to thank our Marcia. She is such a dear. I'm so tickled she's learning how to quilt. That's wonderful. And my my little grandson, Russell, is going to turn 5 this week, and he has the same birthday as my father. And I just love that. I think that's so wonderful. So, he has a present coming to him, and I know that his parents are going to have a very special birthday for him. So that is really terrific. Well, thank you so much for spending today with me. Y'all are the best, and you just make my day. You really do. And this show makes my week. It makes my year. You help me to stay creative. And there is nothing better. Aches and pains kind of minimize when you're being creative. So thank you. I appreciate it. I've learned so much since I've been doing this show, and that is because of you. So thank you. I will see you Thursday night with our new watercolor quilt. I will see you next Sunday. And I've got a couple ideas of things to come up with. So let me see what I can make progress on. Betty Meisner's here. Hi, beautiful lady. Well, thank you. You are the best. Happy birthday to Russell. Yes, yes, that's wonderful. And he's growing up so quickly. It's amazing. Well, take good care of yourself. Have a good week. Do something special just for you, whether it's making yourself a little treat or sitting outside and enjoying the sunshine on your face, but do something just for you. All right. Take good care, everybody. Bye bye, everybody. You're the best. Bye bye.